Hello and welcome to this week's episode of What Does It Mean to Be Human? And today we are joined by Carolina, and you're an expert in human design, I understand. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I am. Hi, thank you for having me, Ben. I am Carolina Wikstrom, and I'm a human design guide, helping business owners find more alignment in their business through the lens of human design.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit on this channel before about human design. I find it a great way. So I do sort of coaching and helping people clarify their purpose and getting closer to their own sort of goals and stuff like that. So that's why I thought this would be a great sort of way to kind of again help you understand who you are and how you operate as a human. And so yeah, that's why I've done it's not my specialty, but I certainly use human design as a platform to kind of deepen my understanding of who a client is before we're even kind of doing work together. So yeah, the floor's open to wherever you really want to go with it, but I'd love to hear a little bit about the background, how you work, and your profile. As I shared just offline there before, I'm a projector. So it's always kind of interesting for me trying to run my own thing and do my own process because yeah, it's a little bit outside my comfort zone sometimes to be doing that, being non-energy centered. So yeah, tell us what you think people need to know about human design and whatever you think is relevant to being able to know yourself better and navigate the world as is.
For sure. So, human design is essentially a map of your energy, and it is very specific, and it tells you the way in which the energy moves within you and the way it is projected out in the world, the way you relate to others, and the way you take the other in. So in that way, in that sense, it's very complete. With human design, I can help my clients find more clarity, align with their purpose, find their strengths, their gifts, their talents. They can learn or understand the lessons they're here to learn and the transformations they're meant to go through in life. And through those lessons is the way they can connect to other people, especially when it comes to business. It is a very holistic view of the human being, because it not only teaches us who we are on the inside, but also the ways in which we may be conditioned by the outside world. And it also gives us the tools to go through the deconditioning process so we can get back into alignment with our authentic self. Um, it's something I'm very passionate about, and I'm always thrilled to share more about it.
Yeah, I know, but it'd be probably good for people listening to get an idea. How do we determine this? Like, how do we define what your human design is, or how do we get clarity on how that energy system is moving then?
So it's a very simple um, test. You go on Google, several pages have it. It's completely free. The one that I recommend is called mybodygraph.com. And you just enter your birth information, day, time, and place. And it generates your chart. And on the side, it will have the chart properties, your energy type, your profile, your authority, and all the other specific aspects of your unique chart. And so
Uh,
that's how people can find their own chart.
and so how many kind of different overview profiles are there? Like I know there's a few main types, so maybe you can just give a quick
Of
idea of
course.
about who they are, how they operate, and things like that.
So the first layer that we have is what we call energy type. And it is, as you say, like the main archetype we have in human design. And we use that to explain certain themes that are similar for people. So we have five different energy types. The first one is generators, who are people who are here to do what they love, and through that they create this life force energy that helps sustain the entire uh, world, because some other energy types don't have that type of energy, so they have to kind of like borrow it. um the next type is manifesting generators, who are people who are generators, but they have certain manifestor capacities, and that makes them very multi-passionate. They can do multiple things at once, juggle multiple balls. They are quick, they are faster, efficient. They are very, very good at managing time, for example. They can be a little rushed, and in that process, maybe they skip a step or two. So for manifesting generators, it's always a good idea when it comes to like very detailed oriented work to have a second set of eyes go through it to make sure there aren't anything they're overseeing. But their magic is in their ability to move from one thing to another and to show us that we are not here to do one specific thing or follow one specific path for the rest of our lives, but we are actually able to learn from different experiences and gather all that wisdom and integrate it and then share that with the world. So that's the magic of the manifesting generator. The next type is your type, if I understand correctly, projector. Um, People who are very insightful, very good at with systems, creating systems or optimizing systems, and also very good at seeing through people. So they are here to help us, to guide us, to share their insights, as long as those insights are what we call invited. Projectors have this strategy of wait for the invitation. So sometimes they have a lot of share, a lot of good advice and good insights that they're craving, yearning to share. But it's important for them, and through life, most projectors have learned this the hard way. Sometimes people are not willing to receive what they have to share, so they can become bitter when that happens. So always, the advice for projector is save their energy and their valuable insight for those who are willing to receive it.
Yeah, definitely learned that one. Yep.
Yeah. The next energy type is manifestors, and they are here to get things going. They are the ones who are here to download the crazy new idea that is going to revolutionize the world, think outside the box, break the mold. And so they are very independent, and they can be very impulsive, but they don't realize the impact that they have around in those around them. So the strategy for them is to inform, and when they inform, they accomplish two things. One, the people who want to support them find ways to support them, and two, the people who don't want to support them get out of the way. So manifestors realize that once they start informing, then the path forward kind of clears up, because the people who will be there will help them no matter what, and the people who want to go elsewhere, then they're not there like to block the way, essentially. But they struggle with that because they feel that informing is almost like asking for permission. There is a thin line between asking for permission and letting someone know, just so you know, this is what I'm gonna do. So the sooner they realize that is not the same thing, and that by informing they're not losing their power, but actually increasing it, the better it is for them. So manifestors are people who are often controversial, polarizing. They have a very particular way in which they communicate, which can come across as blunt sometimes, But that's what they're here to do. They are here to create the next best thing and then pass the ball along to the people who are here to support it. So they're the innovators, the visionaries, and then they kind of like gather the team around them to help them push things forward. And the last energy type is reflectors, who are people who are extremely wise because they essentially take everyone else. So in human design, what we see in the chart is they're completely open. And so in that openness, they're always taking everyone in as well as their surroundings, their environment. So through experiencing what it feels like to be literally everyone else, they gather all this experience that they then transform into wisdom. And so they are here to share with us their objective truth, what they've learned from like literally being and experiencing everyone else. So they are here to be kind of like the wise elder in the center of the tribe, sharing their objective advice to help the tribe move forward. So they're kind of like another way of seeing it. It's kind of like the weather man or woman, in that they can sense what's going on in the collective, and then they can tell us how to move forward.
And they're a bit of a rare type, as I understand, yeah?
Yeah. There's only 1% of people are reflectors.
Yeah. And the percentages of the others, just so people
yes,
have
of course.
an idea?
So generators, about 35%. Manifesting generators is 32%. Projectors is 12%. Manifestors is 9%. And then reflectors is 1%.
Mm-hmm. And so what's your type?
I'm a generator.
You're a generator.
Yes.
And so how do you help people clarify themselves or their businesses? Because you said you help people align their businesses or something. That was correct, yeah?
Yes. So when I see someone's chart, I am able to see not only like their strengths and the lessons they're here to learn, but also in human design, we have something that is called the incarnation cross. That is essentially the 4 strongest energies on the chart. And when you combine those 4 energies, they are essentially a clue as to what your purpose in life is. Additionally, there are different aspects on the chart that tell me what's your vision, what is the way in which you attract clients, what is the way in which you attract material resources, what is your branding, what is your motivation, are you better at working like one-on-one, big groups, smaller groups, what is kind of like your zone of genius type of thing. So the thing to recognize about human design is that I cannot tell you what you should be, but I can tell you how you can be whatever it is that you want to be, the best version of that thing that you want to be.
Yeah,
sorry?
So just the way I understand it is, if you know your design, you can move more effectively in the world. You can still choose your purpose, but there's a streamlined way of navigating is how I sort of see it.
That's exactly it. So if you think about it, human design tells us what our strengths are. Usually, and I'd say most people really enjoy doing the things that they know they're good at. So when you align those two, you're doing the things that you love and the things that you like, and you're essentially living your purpose, because we are all here to share or give with the collective. So that's like a simplified way to look at it.
Yeah, and I think when we have more people on the planet who are living in in their design, but in their purpose, we're able to create change, you know. And I think being inspired by the individuals who are living what they're here to do, I think is a great thing to put out into the world. So yeah, I really respect how to navigate that in an easier way, I suppose, is what human design is, you know. So
yeah. So for example, one of the things I bring up with my clients is that we are all unique, and our magic is in our uniqueness. So our only value added is in our authenticity. Everything else is just kind of like the same, and the same is boring. The same doesn't really add any value. The same is just the same. So your magic, your secret sauce, the thing that you have to offer the world is your uniqueness. And the more aligned you are with that, the easier things are for you, and the easier things will flow for you. So that's one of the things that I think people don't realize, because especially in the world of business, like we're all trying to follow the advice of A, B, and C, and turns out that that advice works very well for A, B, and C because it's in alignment with their design, but everyone else is having trouble seeing results with that advice because it's not aligned with them.
Yeah.
So that's where the issues and the struggles begin.
And in terms of collaborating with people, I mean, is there good sort of, I don't know, general rules or things that, again, can help grow a team more efficiently or something like that? I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, how that looks when you're trying to run a business where there's multiple kinds of personalities. Even if you're in the lead of something, you still need to be supported by those around you. Have you got any kind of advice there that people might need to hear?
There's two pieces of advice, a simple one and a bit more complex one. The simple one is it's all mechanics. You will naturally attract the people that will complement your design. So as a result, you will naturally attract the people that will complement your strengths. They will bring their own strengths to the table. So I'm almost saying don't worry too much about it because it will naturally happen. It's just mechanics. The more complicated one is if you really want to get into it, there is area of human design. It's called BG5, and it's all about that. It's all about analyzing the penta, which is like the combined aura of a team, and see who brings what to the table to help you understand the roles in which each team member may perform better, or where you may have areas of conflict, or where you may have like a bit of a, for lack of a better word, like space that you have to fill in, like someone needs to bring this to the team.
Yeah, interesting. I find that kind of fascinating. I think it depends on your industry as well, I suppose. But because mine is about personal growth and development and things like that, I'm always kind of fascinated by these areas because I know I have a skill set that I'm deficient in other areas and I need someone to kind of fill in those blanks. So I kind of find that really interesting when it starts to look at the collective and what you're moving towards or trying to grow or bring into the world. Can be a really fascinating sort of look into how that works.
Yeah. So in my experience, you bring someone on a team and then you find that you have very good, quote unquote, chemistry working together. And then you look at the chart combined, and then you can see where all the connections are and how you're complementing each other. It's not different than say a loving relationship where like two partners feel attracted to each other, and then they find the areas that they have in common, and so those are the areas that they can build like friendship and trust, and the areas where they complement each other, and those are the areas of like magnetism where there's that sense of attraction, and you need both.
Yeah.
So it's the same for a team. So almost like I wouldn't, it's not like when you're looking to hire, like just have their
Yeah.
chart and see, pick and choose, but you will see that the people that feel very good to you when you're working with them, if you look at the chart, you're gonna see the connection, and you're gonna see why. You're gonna understand why.
Yeah, so it's not hard rules. It's just kind of getting people in the optimal spot that can, again, work to the genius or work to their easiest flow as well and support you in that. So yeah, that makes much more sense. So,
And the reason why I'm saying this is because everyone expresses their design in a different way. I mean, ideally, we would always be in human design, we always have the duality, right? The high expression and the low expression. Ideally, we would always be experiencing or in the high frequencies, in the high expression of our design. But that's never the case. We're always moving back and forth between the high expressions and the low expressions, the shadow and gift. So you have to take that into account as well. That even if you say you found someone with the perfect card, then you bring them aboard and they are just in the low expression of their design, so it doesn't really work. So that's something else to keep in mind, right?
So when you're working with people, how long is the process? Like what kind of does that look like? And do you have a package? Is it a one-off? How does that look in how you work with it and work with people?
It really depends on the type of support the client needs. I'm here to help. So it can be as simple as, okay, I need a reading. I need to understand. I'm a solopreneur. I need to understand where my zone of genius is. How do I attract clients? Where is my branding? How do I work with people? How do I communicate with people? How do I sell? All these things that I can do in a reading. Now, we can do, or I offer different types of packages supporting through the whole process, right? So there is a lot more of support through the whole period that I can offer as well.
So I don't know, is there anything else that you feel is kind of really important for people to either understand about human design or working with you, or, you know, just general kind of advice when kind of navigating this area and how people, I don't know, can be more efficient or anything like that as we start to kind of wrap up here? I think it's been a great overview, but is there anything that you feel is like really important that people need to understand?
A couple of things. One, human design finds you when you're ready for it. So if you're feeling called to it, I would invite you to dive a little deeper. There's probably something in there for you. It happened to me. I found human design years ago, and I wasn't ready then. And then fast forward a couple of years, it found me, and then it was a completely different experience. Then I was ready. And so that's the first thing. If you feel called to it, there's a reason for it. Dive deeper, learn more about it. Two, there's a lot of information on the internet, and all of it is free, which I think is wonderful, actually, because it really, I think a lot of this information shouldn't be behind like a paywall or anything like that. Like, I think this is information that is relevant for everyone and should be available for everyone. But also on the internet, anyone can say anything they want. So if you ever come across anything that feels disempowering, that doesn't ring true, that feels like it's putting you in a box or taking away your power, go somewhere else. This system is meant to empower you, to support you, to heal you. It's not meant to take away your power. And so if you ever find anything like that, find a different source, because that's not what this tool is about. And because there's so much information out there, and if you ever, or when you do see your chart, you're going to see that it's very overwhelming. I would personally advise you, even if it's not with me, get a reading, because it will be the easiest way to get started with human design. You can spend hours and hours and hours Googling every aspect of your design, and it still won't make sense because there's so much information out there and there are so many elements and different aspects that come into it, and you don't even know where to begin. So having a reading is the easiest way to start. You will at least understand the basic mechanics of how you are supposed to work, and then you can take it from there. Then you can start diving deeper into your gates, your channels, and everything else. But the basic mechanics, the basic strategy, authority, your profile, everything else, you need to get a good source of knowledge that will help you navigate that process.
And so do you go into all the lines and everything like that when you're kind of yeah, I've mostly just consumed free stuff, and again it's not my thing. I respect it, and I want to know. It's just my head is somewhere else, and that's okay. It just gives me a broad overview when I'm kind of talking to people, and I can kind of help guide them. I will always say, go do, if you're interested, go do it somewhere else, because it's just not my thing. But I think it's a great tool for, again, better understanding self and knowing how to navigate reality in your own way. So I think this is great.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else there? You said you had a couple of points. Was there anything else you felt that people need to hear or know?
No, if you want to learn more about human design and how to find alignment in your life, connect with your purpose, or learn more about how to use it in your business, you can follow me on I am Carolina Wikstrom on Instagram, and feel free to send me questions. I am the one managing the account, so you can always reach me there.
Okay, we'll get your links and then we'll put them below and all that kind of stuff. So
For sure.
yeah, I feel like this has been a good broad overview of what people can get out of human design. I've barely touched on it because that's just my knowledge base. But I highly recommend people, if they are, like you say, drawn to it, that maybe they want to take a deeper dive into knowing how to navigate reality and self. To make this an easier time for all of us.
For sure. Yeah, there's it's a big rabbit hole.
It is a big rabbit hole.
I've been down here for 3.5 years, and I'm still learning every day. It is absolutely fascinating.
And hence why I just haven't gone there. I've gone enough to get the basics and know enough about, the bare minimum, but yeah, it's a whole rabbit hole my head is just not up for, and that's totally okay. Well, thank you very much for that, and if you've got any closing words or final things you want to add there, please feel free. Otherwise, I appreciate your time and wisdom and knowledge and sharing that with the audience, and yeah, look forward to hearing more of you in the future.
Thank you for having me. Just the last advice I have for people is to trust themselves, honor their energy and their gifts, and that's always the path forward.
All right, thank you. I think that's amazing. I'll quickly chat to you just offline here, but we'll end it there. And good luck in exploring your own human design out there. And good luck to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.